Welcome to the Speaker Attraction Method 5 Day Challenge, Day 4. I'm Evolve Benton, the Speaking for Profit Coach, and I'm excited to talk to you today about messaging that nurtures. We're also going to talk a little bit about the Speaking for Profit business standards and the ways that we support our clients in being able to get paid to speak. So I'm extremely excited about today's training. I'm going to give it a few minutes and make sure that some folks are able to get on and get this knowledge. But thank you so much for being here. Again, this is day 4 of the Speaker Attraction 5 Day Challenge. And today we are going to be talking about messaging that sells and messaging that nurtures. So I'm pumped up and excited about today. The reason I really love this topic in particular is that I feel that so many people find the need to start to have conversations with people without really nurturing them, right? And it's important that we build those concepts out in order to really be able to build profitable and sustainable speaking businesses. So, again, this is day 4. It's been a great opportunity to work with you all thus far, and I'm excited for us to tap into this topic. So, let's get started. For today, we are going to be discussing an overview of day 3, right? Just like the rest of the week, we'll have an opportunity to do a quick overview of what we talked about yesterday to really ground us in today. And what I think you'll be able to see today is how all of these methods really begin to combine and come together as we start to talk about the speaker attraction method. And remember, the speaker attraction method is the foundation of our wealthy speaker ecosystem that we're getting into. So we're also going to talk about the S4P 531 business standard. And then we're going to go into your first money making activity. So that is why I'm mostly excited about today. We're going to actually talk about what are the ways that you can get some quick wins and start to build relationships with people that you might already know. I'm also going to do a walkthrough of setting up your appointment scheduler. And then I'm going to give you a template of messaging that nurtures so that you can actually use your homework and your challenge for today to start reaching out to some people. So I am really excited about today. If you're excited, just put the word excited into the comments so I can see that you're here. I think that this is going to be a great conversation that's going to really lead us into the moments where we're getting paid. So let's tap into our overview of yesterday's training. Yesterday we talked about how to create a profile, right? A profile, an attractive profile as a speaker that really supports you in being able to attract your ideal clients. And we talked about utilizing LinkedIn for this. And I gave you some ways to amplify your LinkedIn. And we really focused on 4 concepts, right? Your profile photo, your cover photo, your headline, and your summary or your featured section where you really begin to share with people some of the exciting things that you've done. And Crystal, welcome to the space. So happy that you're here and that you're excited to be here. We're thankful to have you. So that's what we talked about yesterday, right? So if you did not see yesterday's training, please go back to the replay. It is really important. I know some people emailed me and said, Evolve, how long will we have access to this information? I'm going to give you all access to these replays for the next week. So next Friday, they will be taken off, right? And for all the folks who have VIP access and have purchased the VIP, you will get an opportunity to have lifetime access to the information. For folks who weren't able to purchase the VIP when it was open, don't worry. We'll be sending out an email and give you an opportunity to buy the lifetime access to this information. And that means you get lifetime access to the recordings, but also the slides and any templates that we choose to give to you all as well. So yesterday we also, let me go back. Oh, okay. That slide must have not made it. Yesterday, we also talked about Dream 100 LinkedIn connections, right? And how important those are for being able to build relationships with people. So today, we're going to talk a little bit in a reverse engineer type of way, right? We talked about building cold connections. Today, we're really going to talk about what is it like to build connections with people that you may already know, and what are the standards that you can start to build out in your business to make sure that you're always building an audience, number one. Number two, always in a cash making activity. And then number 3, always moving these conversations forward. So let's go into our first concept of today, which is the S4P 531 standard. And what I want to say about the 531 standard is that this is something that I actually learned from one of my coaches. And what I learned from them in particular, and his name is Michael Chu, is that we have to have business standards, right? Goals are great. Business goals are great, but goals sometimes we don't necessarily meet them. Even if we don't meet our goals, we want to make sure that we always meet our standards, right? Because standards are important to be able to keep us grounded in our business. So, what's the difference between a business standard and a business goal? A business standard is something that has to get done no matter what in order for us to see that the business is actually growing and moving. Whereas a goal is really a target to get us to the next level in our business. So when I think about this in particular, when we're talking about business standards as far as being a speaker and a consultant, the standards that we're going to talk about today, you must be doing in order to really be building your business, for your business to grow, right? But you might have goals that might mean to triple and double these standards that we're going to talk about today. And those are great to have because if you can get there, that'll be really cool, right? And that's something that can take you to the next level, but it's not what you have to do, right? Standards are what we have to do. If we don't hit our standards, then we're really just not in business. So when it comes to the 531, this is a standard that we use within Speaking for Profit. The 5 within the 531 is 5 posted pieces of content, right? And we want those pieces of content to be vulnerable, visible, and victorious, right? So what I mean by that is utilizing social media to constantly nurture your audience through posts that are vulnerable, visible, or victorious. And many of you that follow me often will see me post these type of posts. This is strategic. Yes, I love social media and I love communicating with you all, but I'm also doing this because I'm building relationships and I'm nurturing those relationships with you all through my content. So what does a vulnerable post look like, right? A vulnerable post might be me sharing when I first started speaking and how I was getting paid Amazon gift cards because I did not realize my worth, right? And a lot of people will be able to resonate with that because many of the people who follow me have never been paid to speak, or maybe they've been paid to speak a gift card at church, but they've never really seen what is the real impact that their voice can do and how to get paid a high paid opportunity. Visible, right? Visibility gives visibility to our actual offers and what we're sharing with the world, right? So many of you will see me do posts where I acknowledge maybe some of my clients and the success they have, or I acknowledge some of the success that I'm having in my journey as well, right? I'm giving visibility to all of the things that I'm doing and sharing that. And then the last V is victorious. And the reason we want to show victory and celebration is because most people really enjoy seeing other people win, right? And this is a great way to continue to build out content. So a lot of people will ask me, with these 5 pieces of posted content, does it have to be video? Does it have to be blogs? Does it have to be short form quotes? It's really up to you and your audience and how you're serving them. But we want to make sure that we're doing this at least 5 times a week, because if we're doing it 5 times consistently, what we've seen is that we will build an audience and continue to nurture them through our content. So that's the 5 when it comes to 531. 3 is 3 messenger sessions. And we're going to talk about this a little bit today. So what we mean by 3 messenger sessions is that you should be in conversation 3 times a week, right? Because when we're talking about the 531, this is a standard for a weekly standard. So 5 days a week, 5 pieces of content, right? And you got 7 days in the week, so that means there's a couple of days you can relax and chill out. But the 3 messenger opportunities are conversations that you're either having with people who are hot leads that you already know, maybe new people who have joined your LinkedIn or your other social media or your email list, or just follow up with people that you've been in conversation with. If we're not having conversation with people about speaking or about consulting, then our business is not moving forward. Because as we talked about during this week, us being on a phone call or on a Zoom call with someone about an opportunity is the only way that we're going to secure the contract. Like I suggested, do not secure contracts with people via email or via messenger. You really want to get on a phone call so that you actually know what you're signing up for. So we want to get in messenger sessions with people and in conversation to ultimately get them on a phone call. So you want to be doing that 3 times a week. And I always tell my clients 2 of those times should be just conversation. And one of those times is probably follow up, right? Because I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll send out emails or sometimes I'll send out messages and I forget. Right. So we want to make sure that we go back and follow up with the people we sent messages to see if they've responded or to see if we need to ping them again to get to the top of their inbox. And then the final part of this is one discovery call, right? One discovery call a week equals 4 calls a month. Let's say that you're on a call a week and you end up securing 50% of those contracts. That means that you secure at least 2 contracts a month, right? Someone asked me earlier in the group about pricing. Pricing is a very unique thing, and we do talk about how to price your offer, how to price your consulting opportunity in our paid programs. But the thing that I'll say to you today about pricing is that within Speaking for Profit University, we are supporting high paid speakers. So we suggest that you don't go anywhere lower than $2,000 per speaking opportunity. And that's usually $2,000 for, I would say, an hour to 90 minutes of you speaking with an organization. So when we look at that math, if you get 50%, that means you've made at least $4,000 from your speaking business. Even if you just book one, that's $2,000, right? But we have to be in the action. The reason I wanted to talk to you about these standards today is because I find that oftentimes people will take the information that I've given you in the challenge and they won't really utilize it to build out an actual system. What they'll do is they'll get on LinkedIn and they'll amplify their profile and they'll reach out to a few people and then they'll get frustrated that things aren't moving forward. You want to make sure that you're not just reaching out to people, but you're also giving and creating momentum by creating content. You're actually reaching out and following up, and you're moving these people from conversation to a call so that you ultimately can get a paid contract. If you spend too much time on the 5 or too much time on the 3 and not enough time getting people to the 1, right? You don't have a full standard in your business. And that means that your business is not going to move forward. So I really wanted to give you a collective view of this so you can understand how all of these pieces come together before we start talking about messaging that nurtures, right? Because the one thing I want you all to know is that anytime someone hits me up in Messenger or they might send me an email or anything, the first thing that I do is I go over to social media to see what they've been posting about. I go over to their LinkedIn to see what are the things that they've been doing. And people are going to do that same thing with you. So if they go to your profile or go to your pages and they're dry and you haven't been creating content and nurturing your community, people are going to see that and know that you're only in it to just message people and just have conversations, right? You're not in it in a way where you're actually moving the conversation forward. So make sure that you really get settled in these business standards and that you complete them, right? And when you start to do the 531, if you have any resistance that comes up, that's what the Wealthy Speaker and Consulting Group is for. We're there to support you with some of that resistance, answer questions, and be a community that moves us from novice speakers, people that speak here and there, to actual CEOs and entrepreneurs. So let's talk about your first money making activity, right? And I start snapping because I get excited anytime folks are making money. So if you get excited when you see your folks making money or when you're able to make a money or when abundance is in people's lives, just put the word money in the comments. But it excites me so much when we start talking about money making activity because if you have a business and this is your speaking business, is your consulting business, if you have a business where you have a laundry business, whatever you're doing, and you're calling it a business, it should be making some money, y'all. If it's not making money, then it's just a really, really nice hobby, right? So we want to get you into action when it comes to being a money making business. So like I said, if you are a person who gets excited about this, yes, put the word money into the comments. Yes, somebody say yes to making money. Yes, we got to do that, y'all. We can't just sit up here and be stagnant. And I want to speak to this for a little bit before we go into the next slide. I was in the Facebook group earlier this morning and I seen that someone put in there, I always try to work really hard. And I thought that I had to speak a whole bunch of times for free before I could actually make money. What I want to say to you all is that you don't have to do all that. You have already spoken for free. Most of you have already been on job interviews. You probably have spoken in school at some opportunity. You probably have spoken at work. You have properly spoken for your friends and family and loved ones. You spoke for free already. You already did it. You might have not acknowledged it in that same way, but you've already done it. So I'm here to tell you that you're valued, that you're ready to go, and that you don't have to wait for an opportunity to start charging people. That is one of the things that I regret the most, is that I didn't understand my value and the impact of my story. Speaking is some of the most powerful things that you could ever do for a person, because once you have that moment, you can change someone's life. How many of you have spoken to someone or had a conversation that totally changed the trajectory of your life? I know so many of us have, or maybe you just were listening to a speech, or you were listening to Oprah or Obama or one of your friends or family or one of your elders speak to you and it changed your life. What we're doing is transformation. And the payment is a very small way of the energy exchange that happens in that way. So we don't want to be afraid to charge people. We want to do it. We want to do it well, and we don't want to wait. So don't think that you have to wait to get into this money making activity. So what you're going to do for your first money making activity, and what I ask of you all, is that you screenshot this, right? Screenshot this, or make sure that you go back to the replay, right? You're going to put together a list of 50 or more people who may be interested in your speaking engagement slash consultation, because I know that some of you are consultants. We need to tap into our network first. We've spent the whole week talking about amplifying your LinkedIn, reaching out to your Dream 100, and I want you to know those people are amazing. But you've got some of your Dream 100 already in your pocket. These are people that you've probably been working with, that you've been in social organizations with, maybe you go to church with, maybe it's people you grew up with and you went to high school or middle school with, and now they work at organizations that you want to speak to. The people that you talk to sports about, or you talk about soap operas or the last episode of whatever show, those are the people you want to reach out to. Everybody that's your homie probably got a job. And if they got a job, that's an organization that you can be speaking out and speaking to. So what I would love for you to do is organize this how best fits it for you. You can use a spreadsheet. You could be real old school like some of my clients and use a simple notebook. Evernote is another app that you could use. The easiest way to keep this and make notes is what I want you to do. Now, I know that many of you might be looking at this and thinking to yourself, 50 people, that's a lot of people. It is, but you can do it. Pace yourself. Sit down. Actually, right now, if you have your calendar in front of you, I got my phone, I always have my phone. Go to your calendar, right? And I would like you to put onto your calendar when you want to do this in your schedule. Give yourself an hour to an hour and a half to sit down and write down maybe 10 to 15 people. And then after you do it for that one time, sit down and write down 10 to 15 more people. And then write down 10 to 15 more people. And think about the stages in your life. Think all the way from when you were in elementary school to maybe college, to people you've maybe met in your neighborhood. Who are the people that you know and the networks that you have access to that you can reach out to and start to talk about actually you coming in and having a conversation around speaking? It's so important that we get into action and we realize our network, because this is what we call hot leads. People who already know us are going to take care of us in a particular way. They're not only going to bring us in and pay us to speak, but they're also going to refer us to other people that we may not know with ease. And that's what we want, good people. We don't want money that is challenging. We don't want money that is stressful. We want money that comes with ease. And the way that we do that is by reaching out to people that we already know and starting that type of conversation. So here's an example of where you might find some of those people, right? Think to yourself, current clients, are you working with clients right now in a different capacity? And you can ask them about opportunities. Past clients, some of your social circles, mastermind peers. Maybe there's people in this actual group here on Facebook, right, that we have that you can reach out to see, hey, you and I both are in this challenge. We've been able to help each other and hold each other accountable. Where do you work right now? Maybe I can come talk at your job and you can come talk at my job, right? And we can both get each other paid opportunities to speak. People you've met at events, right? All those business cards that maybe you collected before COVID when we was all outside. Where are those people now? Maybe they're not at the same job, but they're in new organizations. And you can take those business cards and go start to look those people up on LinkedIn and connect with them, right? Like, utilize the resources that you have, friends, people who might be a fit, people who may know people who might be a fit. And when you're thinking about these people, go back to that problem and solution statement that we created earlier in the challenge. You want to go back to that. What problem are you solving? What solution are you bringing? And what people can you reach out to? Now, like I said, I know that list of 50 might be hard. So start off small and it will expand. I guarantee it will expand for you. I want you all to not underestimate the importance of tapping into your existing network. The truth is that your first 10, 20, or even 30 speaking engagement clients are probably people you already know in your audience or in your network. The biggest mistake that I see most speakers and consultants make is going straight to get new leads when you haven't even tapped into your existing ones. So you get frustrated because you're like, why are these people not wanting me to come in and speak? Why are they not paying me? When the truth is, it takes time, y'all. It takes time for people to see you posting content, for you to reach out, for y'all to get on a call. Then once you're on a call, for them to get to know you. Once they get to know you, for them to actually give you a contract. All this takes time. And a lot of that time is taken away by relationship. If I have a relationship with someone, I don't have to get to know them. I don't have to do a lot of that work. We can get straight to the opportunity and secure the bag. But a lot of times we want to go to people we don't know. And that really makes it a lot easier, a lot harder for us as speakers and consultants. We want to come and make this with ease. So I'm going to tell y'all the truth. When I first started my speaking business, I didn't really start reaching out to cold leads on LinkedIn until like 3 to 4 years in. And the reason I didn't have to is because I utilized my personal network. There were people I knew that worked at other universities, people who would tell people about me. I always would ask people for referrals. I was going to conferences and events, so I would meet new people and get their business cards and reach out to them. My business was growing all by itself, and I didn't even reach out to any cold leads. I didn't start reaching out to cold leads until I wanted to shift my offer. Remember, we talked about your offer and what you have. And if you want to shift it, you have to build a new audience. And I also wanted to start speaking internationally. So I started utilizing LinkedIn, and that's when I was able to do my first speaking opportunity in Ontario, Canada. And then I did another one in Australia, right? Based off of building relationships, new relationships with people on LinkedIn. However, before that, everyone was in my personal network, right? And someone said, it is true. Some of your biggest supporters are not familiar faces, right? Exactly. Exactly. Right. So you want to reach out to those folks, right? Reach out to the people that you know and get into conversation about this. It's so important. So next, I'm going to go into setting up your scheduler. But before I go into that, what I want you all to know is that that is a key activity that you need to do, right? That is a key activity that you need to do very soon if you want to get paid to speak. Don't start by reaching out to your Dream 100 on LinkedIn and think that you're going to get a paid opportunity in the next few weeks. You're not going to get that. And what I promised you all is that you would have conversations on your calendar with decision makers by the end of this week. The way you're going to do that is by reaching out to people that you actually know. So we have to be in agreement that we're not going to start with cold traffic. We're going to start with the warm traffic, which is the people that we already know. And if you're in agreement with that, just put the word warm in the comments so that I can see that you're in agreement. Just put the word warm in the comments so I can see that you're in agreement. And what I'm going to do is actually pull up Calendly, because Calendly is what we're going to be using for this next section in our training. All right, I see some warm coming through. Thank you. Yes, we want warm traffic, y'all. We don't want these people out here who are brand new. We want them, but we build those relationships in a little bit of a slower way. All right. So let me make sure this is on my screen. Cool. So now let's talk about Calendly. So Calendly is a great asset. I have the paid version of Calendly, but they have a free version, and you all are going to sign up for that today. I wish Calendly had an affiliate link, but I don't think they do. I think it's something they've been working on, because I tell folks about Calendly that are a part of my paid programs, free programs, whoever, because I just love it so much. And the reason I love it so much is, number one, it is my folks, right? It's Black owned. So I appreciate that about Calendly. And number two, it's just easy. I like things that are easy for me, that I don't have to do a lot of labor for. And I love this message from Crystal. Thank you so much, Crystal, for being here and speaking. Warm, I've always struggled with cold too long. Time to get warm and cozy. Yes, time to get warm and cozy and call that money in with ease, right? So this is my Calendly, right? And it's already set up. And I want you to go in and set up yours today, because what I often see is a lot of speakers and consultants telling me, Evolve, I just need an opportunity. Can you get me paid to speak? Do you have leads for me? Do you have people I can talk to? And the first question I'll ask is, sure. Yeah, I do. What's your Calendly? How can they schedule a call with you? Where's your website? People often don't have any of those things together. And what I want you to know is, you don't even need a whole website to have a speaking and consulting business. I didn't have a website until I started selling merchandise. I literally was using my LinkedIn as my website. People will ask me, let me get to know more about you. And I would send them my LinkedIn or a very small press kit that I literally made from a Google document. I did not put a lot of labor into this, because the labor should go into you speaking and over delivering. It does not need to go into all these glitter and glam. And a lot of time we get distracted by that stuff, and it stops us from securing the bag and actually moving our business forward. So we'll make excuses. I don't have a website yet. I don't have business cards yet. I've never written a talk yet. I haven't done this, and that. Get into conversation with people, secure an opportunity. And then after you secure the bag, it becomes a lot easier to come up with all that stuff. I don't even start putting together speeches until people sign a contract with me. I'm not putting together a speech. I'm not putting together a training. I'm not doing any labor until I know I'm going to be paid for it. Why would I do all these things for free? But if I'm also doing it with an integrity, good people. I'm not signing contracts I know I can't fulfill. I'm not talking about things that I know I'm not a genius in. I'm staying in my zone of genius and doing it with integrity. So you need your calendar and your schedule set up, because if it's not set up, then that means that you don't have a funnel to actually have conversations with people, right? So let's get into a little walkthrough on Calendly. The first thing that I always do when I get to new stuff is I set up my account, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to go up here when you get on Calendly, right? Look at them giving us some information about how Calendly is actually doing some work with LinkedIn. That might be another training that I do in the near and dear future. So you want to go and set up your account first. So you go over to the right, you go over to accounts, you can put your name, upload a photo of yourself, or if you don't want to upload your photo, you could upload your business logo. I don't have a welcome message, but you can have a welcome message here. You always want to set up the calendar. Like, how do you want the time to be formatted? I usually just keep it standard, United States, and then what's your current time zone. This is important because everyone who signs up for your calendar, they can actually adjust it to their own personal time zone, but you want to make sure that yours is set up on yours. And then always just make sure that you save those changes so that they're actually there. They also allow you to do some branding. So you can simply go in and let's see, I think I have a logo somewhere in here. Yep. I could just upload one of these logos if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that right now because I use my Calendly for more than just speaking. I also use it for some of my calls with folks who I might be talking to about speaking opportunities. So I don't necessarily upload the Speaking for Profit one, but you can upload that here and you can add the branding there. And then you have your link. So this is a link that gives people access to the Calendly, and you can name it as well, right? So make sure you go in, you set up the account settings. Don't forget to do that. It's very important when you're setting up your calendar. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go in once you have this set up and you've set up your account, and you're going to create a new event type. What I always do when I'm having conversations and their discovery calls, right? And we talked about those discovery calls in 531, is I just do a one-on-one meeting. So you're going to create one-on-one, and then you're going to name the meeting. Now, people often ask me, Evolve, why do you call it a discovery call? I call my calls discovery calls because I'm discovering whether we're going to work together or not. I'm discovering whether I can solve the problem for you or not. Do I have the solution that you need? But I've seen some of my clients use this to really on brand for whatever problem they're solving. So, for example, my amazing partner is a healer, and she calls hers maintenance calls, right? Let's have a maintenance call because we're maintaining our healing and our health. So you can call the call whatever you want, but for today's sake, we're just going to call it a discovery call. Right? You're going to put that in. Location. This is key right here. You really want to decide how you want to meet with people. I have clients who meet with people in person. I have clients who meet with people on the phone calls and only do like a call, not anything that's camera or Zoom. I have people that use Google Meets. They have Zoom on here, which is one of my faves, Microsoft Teams. Maybe you're a person who uses WebEx or GoToMeeting. Whichever way you reach out to people, you just want to include that. For today, we're going to do a phone call. And what I love about Calendly is that they give you an opportunity for you to decide what kind of call you want to do. Will you call the invitee or should they call you? You should be calling them, good people. You're the one who is the leader in this conversation. If you want to know one way to really, really shift who's the authority in a phone call when it comes to negotiation and discovery calls, you should be the caller. You should not be waiting for folks to call you. So I will call my invitee, update that, great. So it's going to give you a phone call, right? Add a location option, right? And you could always add that on there if you wanted to. You don't have to do that. In this summary section, this is a great opportunity where you can say, learn more about my work before our call. And what you could do is you can hyperlink this, which I love, and you can put maybe your website, or you could put your LinkedIn link, whatever you want to put in here that a person can click on as they sign up for that calendar for you and be able to click on an asset to take them to that. What I love about this, good people, is that it always gives people an opportunity for them to get to know a little bit more about you. Somebody said, so the lead set up the appointment. Yes, yes. And we're going to get into that a little bit later on. Some of that, how do you engage them in setting up the appointment? But yes, they're setting that up. So what you're doing is you're putting a Calendly together, a scheduler together. And thank you so much for that question, Funky and Bold. You're putting it together so that you can say, hey, so-and-so, let's get on a call. You send them the calendar and they've already got your schedule. So this is making it so that it's aligned with when you're available and they can just find a time that they're available on that time, right? So that's what we're setting it up for. So we have this information where you can put in your links, hyperlink things, bold things. This is a great time. This is also where you can put your I help diverse leaders upgrade their impact and income through there we go, through public speaking, right? So you could put your statement in there as well if you wanted to. So got that information in there. You can come down here. It's going to name it Discovery One. You can decide on the event colors, keep it on brand for yourself. And then you're going to go over to next, right? What I love about Calendly as well is you can see this popped up. It saved it automatically. So you can decide for Calendly what you want your schedule to be like, right? And what I always suggest for my clients is that you really block out time that you're going to meet with people so you don't open your whole calendar up, right? So you can go in here and say date ranges. So you could say, hey, I'm not taking calls except for April 11th through April 22nd, and it'll apply it. And those are the days that'll be open on the actual calendar. Then you can decide with yourself, okay, how long do I want these calls to be? I often get these questions. How long should these discovery calls be? When you're first starting off, I say about 30 minutes. When you get more used to the flow of the conversation, you might be able to do it in 20 or 25. But I usually give it about 30 minutes on my calendar. I don't give more time than that. And when I get on phone calls with people, I let them know very directly, this is how we're going to spend our time together. And I have a stop at this time, because sometimes people get really excited. They start talking a lot and they can use up a lot of the time, and you don't want to go over, and you want them to respect that, right? This is still a free opportunity. You haven't been paid yet. So you don't want to spend a lot of time on the phone with people if they're not really qualified to be talking to you. They'll also ask you, how do you want to offer your availability for this event? Do you want to use an existing schedule or set custom hours? And what they mean by existing schedule is that maybe you already have a schedule that's built in here, like working hours. So what I do is I usually set custom hours. And what I love about this is you can go in, right? Remember, we picked those days in April, right? So those are the days that are highlighted. The rest of these days are grayed out because we did not give access to those. And you can go in and you can say, edit all Tuesdays. And you can say, okay, Tuesdays, I'm free from 1 to 8, right? Cool. And you could apply that. Or you could say Wednesdays, edit all Wednesdays. I'm not free at all. I don't meet on Wednesdays, right? And you can kind of move it around to decide how you want your calendar for this particular event to be set up. So once you set up the times and you found times on here that you want, that's when you go into what time you want before and after the meeting, giving yourself a buffer. And that's what this question is asking. Want to add time before and after your event? Yes. And we always want to do that because we definitely want to give ourselves time after so that we can write down notes. Because from the conversation, someone might say, hey, Evolve, can you send me over a proposal? Or, hey, Evolve, let's schedule another call. Send me your calendar. Different things will happen on the call. So you need time to write that down and put those into action. So I usually give myself between 5 minutes before the call and maybe even 10 minutes after the call in order to make sure that it's buffered. Because if not, it'll just be calls on your calendar, and then you don't even have a time to go to the restroom or do the things that you need to do. They also have here additional rules for availability. This is great. So let's say you don't want people scheduling within a certain amount of time. Like for me, I usually want 24 hours. I don't want people scheduling with me on the day of. You can set that up here. And then what you want to do is you can decide to make this a secret event or not. So what does it mean by it being a secret event? A secret event means that the person will not be able to see it on that larger calendar that you have on Calendly. They'll only be able to see it if you send them the link. I usually like to do that because I want to keep it very personal, and I don't want anyone that I haven't been in conversation with jumping on my Calendly. Calendly is a public calendar, which means that sometimes people might search your name or look up things and they can find it. So I usually make it a secret event. And we go over to next, and it's saved it again, right? So now we have that our event is going to be on a phone. We have the dates, it's 30 minutes, and we have most of the information set up, right? You can set up workflows, which means that you can set up emails that are sent to people before and after the call. You can set up calendar. And I'm not going to go through all of this. If anybody wants like a full Calendly training, just feel free to let me know. But I can also send you all a few YouTube videos that are great for this. But I'm not going to go through all of this. I'm just going through each tab so you can see what it has in there. So for here, you can do calendar invitations, right? You can do email reminders. So you can set it up where you personalize it, what you want it to say, and it sends it every 24 hours before the call or an hour before the call, right? You can set up email follow-up. So that means that it sends a follow-up email right after your call. You can do text reminders. So it reminds them via text message, right? I love all of this because if we can remind our clients to show up, then that's a great way to get in relationship and to nurture them as well. And then they also have this section here, which is confirmation page. This is game changer as well. So when they go and confirm their call, you can either send them to a confirmation page or you can add a custom link. And that could be to your website. That could be to a video of you saying thank you. It could be so much that you can do with this custom link section. All right. So once you've done that, you can also decide to collect payment from here if you wanted to. but we don't collect payment, right? These are free calls hoping to build new opportunity. But let's say you're a coach or a consultant and you're doing a paid opportunity. Calendly does have the opportunity for you, Stripe or PayPal, to be able to set up payment within there as well. So once you've set up your event, what you should have, right, which everyone should have, is the ability to view the page, right? So if I go over here to view page, I'm gonna share this tab with you. As you can see, the Calendly that we just set up is set up, right? 30 minutes, it's a phone call, it's a discovery call, it even has that text that I put in there, this link that will go to my website. And when a person clicks this, right, they can confirm it and send it over. This is going to be your homework assignment. So I want to make sure that you see this. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the link from this page and actually share it with us so that we can see that you set up your calendar. So one other thing that I want to share with you, because I think that this is important. When you're in here, you can also ask questions, right? Invite questions. So the person can put their name, they can put their email, they can put their phone number, but you can also ask them questions like, do you need support with this problem that I'm solving, right? You can put that in there, whatever problem that you've came up that you solve as a speaker, or you can ask them, do you have a budget for speakers and consultants? This is a great question that I love to ask, because sometimes as you get further in your business, if people continue to say they don't have a budget or have a really low budget, you might not want to get on a call with them and waste your time, right? So you can ask them that. You can ask them, where did you find out about me? There's just so many different things you can put here. What I would suggest is keep the questions low, maybe 2 to 3, because you don't want to make this an application process and people not get on a call with you. But I did want to share that section with you. Someone said, if you talk too long, you can fail to close deals. Keep it simple. Exactly. Yep. I totally agree with that. Sometimes we talk ourselves out of the bag, good people, right? And we don't want to be those people. So go on to Calendly. That's going to be a part of your homework, and get it set up. Like I said, you can set up one free event with Calendly for free. You don't have to pay and get the paid version. But as you begin to build momentum and get paid to speak, I think that you should invest in Calendly. I think that you should invest and pay for it. I believe it might be less than $12, maybe a month. I'm not even sure. Or you can pay for it for a year. It's really up to you. Just remember for yourself that it's an investment for your business. So it's always something that you can write off in the near and dear future. And you don't have to necessarily consider it like, oh, I'm spending all this money on Calendly. What I always suggest for all of my clients that I work with is that I invest once I get paid. So everything that I get, I use the free version. I use the trial period. I might even use 3 or 4 emails. And once I get paid, I will invest in it, especially if it's something that allows me to win and build my business, right? But you don't have to pay for things right away. Pay for things when you get that cash flow and when you're able to really sustain your business. So we've talked about Calendly, and this is perfect because before you send that message that nurtures, you need it to be set up, right? And you'll see that here in this message. So before you get out and start sending messages to people and having conversation, make sure that your Calendly is set up so that when someone says, yeah, let's jump on a call, you can be the leader in that call and send them your Calendly link. So here's a message that I use often that nurtures, and I send this to people that I know. So this is what we're sending to warm leads. We're not sending this to people on LinkedIn that we just met, right? Your first message that nurtures. Hey, first name, right? Whoever they are. I hope you're doing well. I'm launching my speaking consulting business. I'm on the mission to help what group, right? And this is going to go back to, I believe we did this in day 2, if I'm not mistaken, where we talked about what is your solution, what is your industry, and what problem are you solving? You're going to put that statement here, right? I'm on a mission to help blank group on blank topic so that they can have blank solution, right? You're going to fill that in. Can we schedule a call and see how we can collaborate? Here is my Calendly. And that's where you're going to insert that Calendly link so that they can sign up. Now, what you could do, instead of inserting the link to make this more attractive, is to hyperlink that whole question. Can we schedule a call and see how we can collaborate? Here's my Calendly. Hyperlink all of that. and put the Calendly link there so that people just click there, they go to your Calendly and they schedule a call. Best regards in your name. Send it off to those 25, 50 people that you come up with in your list. And I guarantee that you will have some phone calls secured before the end of next week. You will have some phone calls secured and some conversations to have. Now, tomorrow at the challenge, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what do you say on that phone call. And I'm actually going to give you a tip sheet, which is a script to kind of go through of things that you can ask to make sure you gather enough information to ultimately seal the deal and send in a proposal and secure a contract. But before we do that, we've got to start reaching out to people, right? So this is the message that you're going to use, either screenshot it or be willing to go back to the replay as you reach out to your first people. And remember, this is what we're using for warm leads. And do not forget to use within here that you're on a mission, because people want to know and be a part of mission statements. They're like, dang, you're on a mission to do this. I would love to be able to support you. And you'd be surprised. Some of your friends, colleagues, and homies might be like, hey, I don't really have a budget, but I know someone who might. Or they might say, hey, I'm not the right person to talk to, but I'm going to connect you with so-and-so. So don't feel like you're bothering them. People want to know what you're up to and how they can support you. And you really want to send that out to people, right? You want to be clear about it. You want to send it out. You want to have the conversation. You don't want to be passive about this type of energy. If you can get these sent out, you can get some calls booked. But remember, you've got to have your Calendly set up so that people can actually schedule time to meet with you. You've got to do that. So this is the nurture message that I utilize when I'm going to people. I utilize this actually in 2020, right before COVID. And I was able to book myself out for like the first quarter of the year because I was changing and pivoting my offer. So I was like, hey, so-and-so, I know we worked with each other in the past. I'm now teaching people how to write. I was doing writing workshops, and I want to do a writing workshop with your folks around moving past fear and anxiety. Can we have a conversation about it? Several people hit me up. I got on phone calls and I booked out that quarter, mainly with people I had already worked with, but I was coming back to them with a new offer, right? So don't be afraid to even send this to people that you've already had relationship with and worked on different capacities. You can still utilize this message to nurture those relationships and to reach out. So let's talk about homework for day 4. And thank you all for being here today, for really embarking on this conversation and really moving your business forward. What you're going to do is you're going to create a Calendly for your first call. So you're going to go over to calendly.com, go on and create it, and you're going to share that link in the comments on our homework post. That's how we're going to count that you completed today's challenge. And don't forget, tomorrow is a big day, y'all. It's day 5, so it's our last day together, which I'm sad about, right? I really enjoyed doing this challenge. I was just telling my partner I'm probably going to do a challenge every quarter because this is just so much fun for me. I don't know if you all could tell, but really training and development is my zone of genius. It's something that I love to do. So I can't wait to do it again. So we're going to discuss who wins the challenge tomorrow. I'm going to reveal the winners. And in order for you to be a winner, I need you to get your homework in, right? I need you to get that homework in today. So you need to have it in by midnight so that I can tell you who the winners are by tomorrow at noon. So if you've missed some days, make sure that you get caught up with the challenge. Make sure you go back to each homework post, include things so that you can be included, because winners are going to win 2 prizes. We have 2 prizes available. The number 1 prize for the first place winner is access to our core program, which is Speaking for Profit Now. It's an 8-week program for speakers that guarantees to get you paid speaking opportunities, and you get exclusive course material and coaching from Speaking for Profit University. So that is a phenomenal offer. The normal enrollment for that is currently $19.97. So you're pretty much getting $2,000 off to come and learn with us. And then the second place winner is going to win access to our high paid speaker bundle, which is all of the master classes that we've done in the last couple of years put into an amazing bundle. You also get access to a coaching call with that, and that's valued at $597, right? So it's almost $3,000 worth of prizes that we're giving away. We'll also be giving swag away as well. So someone said, will the replay be on Kajabi? No, the replays will not be on Kajabi. The replays will be here in this group, in the Facebook group, or on YouTube if you're watching it there. The replays will stay up for a week. So they'll be up until next Friday. And then we will be moving them to Kajabi, but they will be only accessible to people who have paid for this challenge, right? People who have paid for the VIP, which is $97, will get lifetime access to all of this material, including the slides, templates, and everything that we use, as well as the recording. So you all will get an email about that. I'll also put a post in the Facebook group as we wrap up the challenge to let you know if you want to get VIP access. Somebody said, I want both. They want both. They want access to everything. I hear you. I hear you, Funky and Bold. I hear you. I want both too. Yeah. So we only gonna have two winners. So make sure you go back and do the homework. Go to the homework post. If you're not in the Facebook group, get in there right now. So your bonus is to reach out to your personal network and start a conversation. I'm not going to know if you've done this, right? But I want you to do it. Go back in this training today, make your list of 10 to 15 people, use the message that I gave you, reach out to people and see if you can get a call booked, right? Because that was the hope of this challenge, is that you would start to build your Dream 100 and you would have the foundation to get in conversation with people to ultimately get paid to speak, right? So the bonus is really you not being passive with this information and starting to reach out to people. I want to be able to support you to be accountable to do that. So if you reach out to some folks, put it in the Facebook group, let us know. And I'll be sure to give you some extra points for the challenge as a person who actually put themselves out there. You all might have also gotten an email. And in that email, I told you all, if you subscribe to our YouTube page, right? Which if you're getting the emails, you've got access to the YouTube page. It's Speaking for Profit on YouTube. If you subscribe, that can give you another bonus point. I'm trying to tell y'all where all the bonuses is so that you can win this challenge. And if you're here live, you've got a little bit more of initiative and more of some points to move it forward a little bit quicker. So I'm excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to do an overview of our time together. I'm also going to give you information on, once you get on the call, what should you be talking about? How do you gather that information? And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Seal the Deal script, which ultimately, right, is how we move people into a proposal mode. So that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. And of course, I'm going to highlight the winners. So make sure that you're here tomorrow at noon or 3 p.m. your time or 2 p.m. your time, whatever your time zone may be, so that we can get into day 5. I'm going to wait here for a few minutes to see if anyone has questions. And then for all of my VIPs, don't forget, meet me over in the Zoom room and I'll answer some more personal questions there. But for folks here, does anyone have any questions before I head out? That's a great question. Someone said, what's your favorite part about this work? You know what? My favorite part about this work is really being able to see people transform their lives through speaking for prophecy more than profit. So people saying that they're going to do something and actually doing it and transforming their lives. I think the art of manifestation is just so powerful, right? So I think that's my favorite part about being a coach. My favorite part about being a speaker is I've had the opportunity to speak to people around the world and really see how it can really support people with confidence, with moving past fear, with moving past themselves. So I really love motivational and inspirational speaking. And I just like to speak, right? Like I don't know if I told you all this story, but when I was a young person, and you could sometimes still hear it in my language now, I had a lisp. I had a really bad lisp. So to even be able to speak so well is definitely something that I'm really consistently trying to do and trying to build that muscle. So it's one of the things that really supports me in being a leader. Someone said, I have a question. Do you teach us how to market ourselves? This is a great question. This is marketing yourself, Funky and Bold. So when you're reaching out to people, you are marketing yourself. If you go back to the beginning of today, I talked to you about the 5-3-1 standards. One of the standards is 5 pieces of content. And within our core program, Speaking for Profit Now, and also in our elite program, Speaking for Profit Academy, we literally teach you 5 different content pieces that you can create. And we actually have monthly content creation workshops that teach people how to create content. Now, for this 5-day challenge, unfortunately, your boy could not do a full content social media type of training. It is very extensive. We usually spend at least, I would say, 90 minutes a month within our paid programs teaching our clients about this. But since you're asking about it, maybe that's a master class that I can do in the near and dear future for you all on how to market yourself as a speaker. Marketing starts with relationship building and with audience building, which is why the 531 standard is so important, right? You're building relationships through your content, you're reaching out to your dream 100, and you're in conversation with people. So that's really what marketing is. A lot of times people want to go to Facebook ads and social media marketing and do all of this extensive things, and they're not even doing the foundational part, which is building relationships with people that you know care about and securing the bag. So I always say, like, let's bring it down to here, right? And call it nurturing and call it building relationships, because marketing sometimes takes us away, teases us out, and really doesn't give us the concepts or the cash flow that we need to be able to build our businesses. So, Funky and Bold, I know that was a very inflated answer. So I'm going to say, yes, we do teach people to market themselves in our paid programs, but you got so much of that information today. And that foundational information that you got in the challenge should be enough for you to be able to secure some opportunities. Okay, Funky and Bold, thank you so much for that question. They said, right? Right, yes. Anyone else have a question? And if not, I'm going to go on and head out. Like I said, I will see you all tomorrow at noon, right? We have our last session together, day 5. I'm pumped up about it. I'm so excited to be able to serve you all for our opportunity and to really wrap up this challenge. Like I said, this has been an amazing opportunity. I appreciate you all. I appreciate your presence. I'm so thankful. And I am going to see you all tomorrow. So have a good time. Make sure you get the homework done. If you have any questions, just put them in the Facebook group, the Wealthy Speaker and Consultant Society. And until next time, peace.